Hey, welcome back to the channel, folks. If you're new here, welcome. Glad to have you. If you don't mind hitting that subscribe, as I get closer to 3,000 subscribers, I want to be giving away one of these portable tire inflators. Be brand new, it'll be sent right to your house. The rules will be coming along soon, next couple of videos. As soon as we start to really get close, within 100 of 3,000, I'm going to get the rules out there for you. Anyway, I've got something really strange to talk about when it comes to Harley mechanics. Stick around. You know, I did a couple of videos talking about all my things I've done to the bike. And one of them had the fact that I had gone through 3 sets of rotors. I was getting ready for Sturgis last year, and I had the entire bike gone through. All the hydraulic fluids, the brake pads, everything you can do to get a bike ready. And there it was again, I had to replace the rotors. Now I should have known, and the Harley tech should have known, but at 5,000 miles on a brand new bike, I had to get a set of rotors. My next set was at 10,000 miles. And my next set wasn't until about 19,000, although I started noticing it about 17. But I didn't really pay that much attention to it. You know, I always hit that back brake first and the front, and kind of do them evenly. That's the way I've been taught. And sometimes you just don't feel what's going on until you grab a handful of that front brake and that front end starts doing this. Well, right around 21,000 miles, I started noticing it again, and I took the bike down to Dan this time. And I said, look, this is my 4th set of rotors. Something's got to be wrong with this bike. And he looked at me and said, 4th set? I said, yeah, the first 3 were under warranty, and the dealer just replaced them. And I didn't think much about it. But this is 3,000 miles later, I need them again. And he said, look, bring your paperwork in. Let's take a look at what's going on. Don't buy any rotors. Don't do anything right now until I check the bike out. So I brought the bike in, brought him all my paperwork, and what he did notice was after 5,000 miles, the left rotor was out 8 1/1000ths. And according to the paperwork, the same at 10,000 and at 19,000. It's always 8 1/1000ths. So he got suspicious. He said, look, I've seen some of this stuff before. It's not, you know, really rare, but it doesn't happen all the time. He says sometimes the wheels from the factory can be a little out of round. Not by much, but enough to warp that rotor. And sometimes the rotor mounts just aren't right, and we have to take a look at those too. So give me the bike, let me check it out. So about a day later I came back, and he said, yep, your wheel is out of round by 8 1/1000ths. He did a video, and he put the rotor next to the wheel, and he filmed it, and you can barely see it, but the rotor moves with the wheel. Then he put it on the tire balancer and then confirmed that the rotor was moving with the wheel at 8 1/1000ths. Now you probably can't feel that when you're riding unless you're grabbing that handful of brake, or if you're just riding down the road, you're not going to feel that. But it's enough to be out of round to warp that rotor. It's been really disturbing that no one has caught this. Every time I bring it back to the dealer, they just throw a new set of rotors on, you know, both of them in the front. So although the bike was out of warranty for about a month, maybe 2 months when I noticed it, I did happen to buy the road hazard front wheel and tire warranty, and it's good for my 60-month my 60-month scheduled maintenance at one of the dealers. So it was still good. So Dan went ahead and he called them. He got them to pay for a brand new wheel, a brand new tire, and all the labor that goes with it. But because rotors are expendable, they don't cover them, even though it was their fault, and it keeps happening. So I am going to get a brand new wheel and tire out of this thing, and it's mounted. It's still really frustrating, but if you guys out there are having trouble with your rotors warping, you probably should go back to the dealer and say, look, can you check my rotor mounts or at least my wheel and check to see that something's not out of round. You know, it's not uncommon for wheels to be not perfect. And they can be out 1 or 2 thousandths and it's not going to make a big deal. But 8, it's going to tear up that rotor. It's going to wear it out. So why my dealer didn't catch it is beyond me. But I think it's the fact that most of those techs are young. They don't have the experience to see stuff like this. But Dan's been around a long time. He was actually service manager at a couple of dealers out here in the Florida area. And he's seen it all. And when it came to that, he kind of knew what it was. He said, let me check this stuff out. And sure enough, it was what he thought it was. But if you're not a really experienced master mechanic, you probably don't have any experience with that because it doesn't happen really that often. But of course, happens to me. If it's weird and rare, it's going to be me. So check with your dealer. If you got rotor problems, you might want to have them check the wheel and the mount on the rotor and the balancing just to make sure it's not out of round.